Hi, everybody.
Hello, hello,
Welcome.
hello, hello. Thank you for putting up with us. We are a little late, we know. We had to face some technical difficulties. Anyways, but hey, everybody, welcome to episode 30 of the VoiceIt Show. I am Kanak, and that's Funky Almedina. Finally, we are pointing in the right direction.
Yeah.
Finally, bearing
Yeah.
with StreamYard. And thank you all for tuning in. And it's really great to see you guys once again. If you haven't yet subscribed to our channel, so please go ahead and subscribe. And before we begin, we'd like to give a special shout out to our patrons. So go ahead, Funky.
Yeah. Thank you to Shelly O'Neill, Adam Gorak, Chris Vickery, and of course, Anders Lindholm.
Thank you so much for supporting our show and always being there for us.
Yeah.
Today, it feels really awesome that we have a fantastic guest with us. And today we have with us a multitudinous artist, a soulful singer, a kick-ass guitarist, a photographer by passion, a mountain climber by hobby, and whose life journey is as inspiring and interesting as his music. He already has several albums out in the musical universe. Fans and audiences adore him for his phenomenal live performances at his live shows called Heartstrings for Horses. And we can't wait to dive in with the conversation with him and about him. So let's welcome our special guest for today, Mr. Stephen Padilla. Hello.
Welcome.
Welcome to the Voice It Show, Stephen. How are you?
I'm doing just fine. A little stressed out with the technical thing, but getting over it.
No worries. That's really
No
fine.
worries at all. No worries at all. It's so great to have you finally joining us. And
Thank,
thank you for giving us your time this morning.
oh, thank you.
Would you like to tell us where you are currently?
I'm sitting in my sailboat in
Awesome.
the marina in Puget Sound in Washington State.
That's
Cool.
awesome.
Awesome. So Stephen is joining us from USA. I'm from India. Funky is in Bosnia, tuning in from different parts of the world. Gosh,
That's very
it's really fun. So tell us, Stephen, how was last year, 2020? I know it's not a very great place to start with, but
well. It definitely was different than I had imagined because just before that, I retired from my engineering job, my day job. They say don't quit your day job. Well, I quit my day job, and
hmm
I had been playing. Obviously, I've been playing for a long, long time, but I was kind of ramping up towards, shifting over into a career of full time music, and then COVID happened, and so it was not exactly what I had in mind. But I made the best of it, and there were some things that was convenient about it because I had to go, or I wanted to go help my elderly parents, so I did that for
hmm
some time and still managed to eke out a performance here and there. So and had some fun, did my hobbies, still got outdoors, and so it wasn't so bad, but it just wasn't what I had planned.
Mm, cool. Funky, go ahead.
Yeah. Tell me, how did you get into music and where did everything start?
Well, I've been into music as long as I can remember. I was
Wow.
as a little toddler and growing up, I wanted to bang on pots and play drums. So really, I'm kind of a drummer that's masquerading as a guitar player because that's what I wanted to do. My parents bought me a little drum.
Wow.
Pardon me. Oh yeah, and so they put up with my drum set as long as they possibly could, and then it was
Uh-huh.
driving me crazy, and so I was always tapping on things and just loved music. And then when I was 12, my father came into my room and said, "You're going to learn how to play guitar." and then shut the door. So I didn't really have a choice on that. So I learned how to play guitar. And so now I play guitar. Many of my guitar playing friends say you play like a drummer would play, because I play very percussive guitar.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 12
Very
years old.
fascinating.
12 years old is when I started playing, and I've been playing ever since. So, and that was just a few years ago. Wasn't that?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Did you grow up in a musical family?
No, nobody else in my family really is. My mother a little bit on piano, but no, pretty much
Okay.
not very many people in my family are musicians. So they think I'm kind of the weird one that became a musician.
Well,
Musicians
I
are
can
always
relate.
weird ones. Yeah.
So I can actually relate to that. So yeah, tell me. So who did you listen to when you were younger?
Well, I listened to country western because that's what my father listened to, and whatever he listened to, we all listened to.
Nice.
So it was the classic country stuff, which I then, as a teenager, rebelled against, like we do with our things that our parents liked. We tend to not like them, and so I had a time when I didn't really like country western at all, and kind of made fun of it, really. And got into folk rock mostly in the 70s, Eagles and James Taylor, and those are the America. Those are the ones, the artists that I probably play the most of their type of music when I do my shows, when I'm covering. And then I found out that country western wasn't so bad, and I particularly liked the older country western that my father liked. And so that those two genres kind of collided, and that's what I call country fusion. So I play what I consider fusion music. So I play jazz, I play blues, I play country western, I play easy listening, light stuff. A lot of different genres of music all have that sort of country feel to them.
Right.
Fusion sort of concept.
Cool.
Right.
And
Yeah.
who do you listen to
Good.
now?
Well, I'm kind of stuck in the 70s. I still listen to a lot of those. I have been accused, and I accuse myself sometimes, and think I should expand. I don't listen to a lot of the cutting edge stuff right now. So people throw out names of artists and songs, and she's like, let me hear them. Oh yeah, that's great, but I don't listen to that as much. I try to on the radio in the car, find some, to try to expand my horizons a bit. But now I listen to Steely Dan, and I mean, I'm just stuck in the 70s. Yeah, but I do like classic. Listen to classical music. I listen to jazz, and I think that those are the things. Even modern jazz. Those are the things that keep my musical interest going.
Right.
Because a lot of the things that I cover are not covered exactly like the original folks covered them. I like to do my own take on these types of, and so I think that listen to other genres of music allows me to keep that sort of fresh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yes. And that kind of simmers into your music as well, into your playing style and whatnot, and the music you make.
The original music you're
And
talking about? Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, that's my
Yeah.
original music definitely is the country fusion. So you'll
Right.
see, if you listen to a James Taylor, you're both familiar with James Taylor, I assume.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Hopefully, yes.
Surprised how many, especially people in your age group, go, James who? It's like, are you kidding me? Anyway, if you listen to a James Taylor album, he in one album he'll play a lot of different genres of music, and that's he was probably my biggest influence, and I love that about him. You never get
Wow.
listening to a James Taylor album. There's always something. Sometimes I say, and just tongue in cheek to my audiences, there's something in my music for everyone to hate. So
That's wise. That's very wise. Gosh, beautiful, beautiful. So, what do you think? What is your most successful album, or that you're most proud of?
Well, that's a tough question. That's sort of like saying, what child that you have are you the most proud of?
I knew it.
Yeah, I like all my children. Proud of them all. I think the most the most successful album for as far as sales would be "Let Me Sing, Let Me Dance." That's the very first one. You did a little cut on that. So I came from gospel music.
Right.
So first three albums were all original gospel, and some old time gospel, some hymns that I do my
Wow.
little country fusion treatment on. But "Let Me Sing, Let Me
Oh yes.
Dance" sold worldwide, I think around 7,000 copies, something like that. Which, you know,
Wow.
to my little universe, that's a lot. To, you know, James Taylor, that's nothing. But to me, that's quite a few albums. And all the rest of them, I just, you know, the last two were my sort of crossover album into secular country fusion music, and I love those albums.
Right.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's hard to say which ones I like best. I like them all, and I'm working on a new one. I think you know that. Called
Yeah.
it's called "I Need a Dirt Road."
Dirt Road.
And
Yes.
definitely a country fusion. That's going to be kind of the pinnacle of my country fusion ideas and concepts. And I got a lot of
Wow.
really well. The song that you were promoting, the Aladdin Road song, would be on that album,
Yeah.
along with
Yes.
some of the others that you've heard. So I'm excited about it. I'm just not putting enough effort into it. Honestly, I need to get going on it. But I've had some other things with being over in Eastern Washington with my parents. There's a mountain range
Right.
that separates me from my parents. So
Oh
we're on
wow.
Wow.
they're on the east side of the mountains, and so it's quite a drive and quite a you know, an adventure to get over to them. It takes about 6 hours driving. So
My God. Yeah.
by car through the mountain passes, and this time of year gets kind of iffy. But
Yeah.
anyway, so I've been
True.
over a
True.
lot, and then I get over here and I've got other stuff to do, and I just need to kind of discipline myself. I'll get on
Right.
it.
Definitely. That song, by the way, dedicated to Aladdin Road,
Yeah,
it hit almost 10,000 plus views on Facebook,
yep, it
and
did.
it's
11,000
a
now,
hit now.
over 11,000 now.
Oh wow,
Awesome.
yeah, and they keep growing. They keep
Yeah,
growing, and that's a really beautiful song. So,
thank you.
and the lyrics are written by your aunt, if I'm not
Yep,
wrong,
yep.
Grace Evans. Yeah,
Yep, my aunt
yeah.
in the 40s wrote that as a song. I thought it was a poem when I first heard it because it was in the
Mm-hmm.
family. The it was thought of as a poem and recited as a poem at various functions, and so I
Mm-hmm.
thought, well, that should be a song. And then I find out that it was actually written as a song. But when
Wow.
I looked at the sheet music, it was, you know, fabulous for the time, but not really what I had in mind for the song. So I kept my own music.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's a special song
Right.
to me and to my family. It's the ranch that I grew up on. My mother grew up there. It goes way back.
Wow. So, would you like to tell us a few stories, or your fondest memories from the ranch?
Oh wow, um, there's so many, and some not so fond memories as well. But I think
We'd
probably
love to hear them all.
I think probably you don't have time for them all. Um, uh, so I had to get up early to do the chores. I mean, like early.
Ah,
particularly in the winter time. In the summertime, not quite so early, but so we got up and I would get up, do the chores, help my uncle with the chores, do the things that I did by myself, and then I got the rest of the day off. This is when I wasn't in school in the summertime, and so I would put on
Mm-hmm.
my cutoff jeans and my holy tennis shoes and no socks,
Mm-hmm.
and I would walk down the creek which ran through the whole property with my pole and just casting into the little pools along there, and then
Wow.
I would come back with a big string of mountain trout, and I loved fishing
Wow.
every single day, and that was my happy place there on the ranch.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
So cool. Yes. Many of the pictures that are in the video are taken by you. All the pictures, actually.
All of those were taken by me. Yeah, I love photography. I love
Yes.
snapping photos. Yeah.
Beautiful photos, actually. I do have quite a few, which are phenomenal.
That's my mother's front
Look
yard.
at that. Wow. Okay, I'll just show the pictures. You tell us the story.
Again, the side yard at my mom's house. And that particular morning, I was just, because I'd been seeing these big bucks, but to have two
Uh-huh.
right there, and I'm on a deck overlooking them just a few feet
Mm-hmm.
away, and they look at you like, hey, no big deal. They're not afraid.
Hey, what's up?
And
Oh, wow.
Right. And then this.
yeah, some more. Yeah, so we have turkey. That's a turkey, female turkey. There's turkey there. There's
Yep.
deer. There's wildlife all over the place. It's a very remote little town up in the mountains. So the wildlife
It's really beautiful, though.
you can't shoot wildlife within the city limits, and they figure that out, and so then they go to be protected, and so that's why there's no fear, because they know when we're within these boundaries, no one can do anything to us.
Yeah, and we
True.
also
True.
yeah, there are more
And
pictures.
That's out at the horse ranch, the Heartstrings for Horses ranch. Yeah, the little baby there in the middle.
oh, wow. These are really cool.
Their mission is
Cool.
to rescue
Go ahead, Paki.
orphan foals, wild orphan foals.
Ah,
That's their mission.
Yeah, and we also have a question from our viewer. So she asks, "Are you a fan of weapons?"
oh.
Good question. Get it?
Yep.
I am actually. I shoot. I sport shoot and I hunt. And there's Matilda. I built that. Yeah. So yes, I am a fan of weapons. But I only use weapons for goodness, never for badness.
Mhm. Oh, okay.
That's very important. Yep.
And then we also have a question from Anders Lindholm. It is, do you have any pets?
Well, I have had pets, but on the boat, pets are a little bit iffy. And I don't like to be sort of tied down because I travel a lot and I go to music and stuff. And having a pet is sort of like having a child again. And I had children.
Right.
I'm kind of out of that phase. So I do have a right behind me. And oops, there's that. Right. Oh, this way. Which way? This way. That's a fish tank turned into a terrarium. So I did have a fish for a while.
Wow.
But yeah, no.
Nice.
That's pretty much it. The little dog you showed there, that actually is my dog.
Yeah.
I tried to have a dog, that little Chihuahua, that's Zoe. I tried to have her on board, but she just couldn't figure it out, and she wasn't happy. So I took her over to Eastern Washington, where she's been living for the last almost 11 years, very happily with
Wow.
my stepfather, and they love her, and I get to go visit her. So I told my mom last time I was over there, that's my dog.
Oh, that's nice.
You just get to take care.
Yeah, that's lovely.
True. Cool, cool. So, how did you? Okay, this is a bit deep kind of thing. So, how did you find strength to overcome the challenging times in your life? Or would you like to share the lessons, some of the lessons that those times have taught you?
Well, of course, my faith. I would just have to say my faith. There's been a lot of people in my life that have helped me through things. You know, my first wife, my second wife who died from
Hmm.
cancer, big influences on my life.
Wow. Wow.
My children,
Hmm.
my mother, particularly. My mother and I are very close, and she's a great confidant. Helps me through the tough times, and I help her through the tough times. That's why I was been over there. So we help each
Yeah.
other. But you know, through that whole thing, you know, if you in my music, if you see a country thread running through my music, through my life, you'll see my faith in God is
Yes.
thread that runs through everything in my life.
Cool. We
That
love
answer,
that.
Beautiful.
is that
um, so
Yeah.
let's get back to the songs. So, and the stories. So, can you tell us the story behind the song "One More Beer"?
one more beer? Yeah, yeah, that's a good story.
Mm.
So I was working on, let's see, what album is that? Is that Whistling in the Dark? I think. I think it's a Whistling
Uh,
album,
Yeah.
or The Water Is Wet,
Yes.
one of those. Anyway,
It
uh,
has to be. Oh no. Yeah, it has to be that. Yeah.
oh, The Water Is Wide. It's on the Water Is Wide
yeah.
album, and I was
The
working on that.
water is wide. Sorry. Yeah.
It's all right. I was working on that album, and I play pool. I like billiards, and I mean, I played since I was a little kid. I love to
Oh
play,
wow.
and
That's
I play.
awesome.
I lived in Everett, just a city just north of Seattle, and I lived in a smaller sailboat there, and I would go down and play pool. Well, there was a fellow there that
Hmm.
I became really good friends with, Jerry, and he's a regular, and he was always in there, and he's a great pool player, and we'd play pool together. And when Jerry would leave, I would stay for the tournaments and the league and things like that. He didn't like that sort of thing, so he would go home. And I would ask him, "Are you going to stick around, Jerry?" And he'd say, "Nah, one more beer and I'm out of here." And I said, "Well, you know that would be a great country song, right?" And he said, "Yeah, yeah." And
Right.
we would kind of go back and forth, and he'd throw out a little lyric, that might be a little kind of a cute little lyric for that song, and so would I, and we were kind of bantering back and forth. And when I was working on the album one day, I just thought, it'd be fun is just to do a little, a fun song quick on One More Beer and I'm Out of Here. And so I wrote it really quickly and recorded it really quickly. Like
Wow.
I wrote and recorded it within 2 hours. I had to
Wow.
have it ready because I wanted to
Whoa.
show me. So I had it on my phone. I downloaded it to my phone, brought some earbuds, and went in there and said, "Hey,
Hmm.
Jerry, listen to this." And he put them in, and he's like, "That's our song, One More Beer and I'm Out of Here." And he thought it was great. Well, it was a joke to me. I sang it kind of, one more beer and I'm out of here. I was being silly, really. I
Yeah.
left the
Uh-huh.
I left the track though, just because I thought, what the hell, I'm leaving it in. So I brought it up to him, and he loved it. And then he's showing other people, and they're all loving it. And then he goes, "It's going to be on your new album, right?" And I went, "I hadn't planned
Yeah.
on it being that. It was just kind of a one-off thing." And, "Oh no, you got to put it on your new album." And then I had other people listen to it. They thought it, so I said, "Oh, well, I'll put it on the new album." So that's it. It was just kind of a joke song that turned into a popular song on the album. My mother likes that song.
Yeah, it is an amazing song. I love it. I truly love it.
It's
We
it's
love it. Yeah.
my mom says that everybody can relate to.
Totally.
Yeah. Cool. Cool story.
Totally. So tell us, you have sailed the Salish Sea as well.
Yes.
Tell us tell us the story of the Salish Sea and your experience, basically.
Well, that's it would take several days because I've spent how many years? 40 years sailing the Salish Sea. The Salish Sea is the bigger waters around here. There's Puget
Wow.
Sound, there's the San Juan Islands, there's the inside passage up to Alaska. You know, that doesn't, Salish Sea stops north someplace up there. I'm not exactly sure. It's a fairly modern term for this body of water. When they were studying it, they wanted a name for the entire region, so they called it the Salish Sea. Salish is a Indian tribe that's around here, a large Indian tribe, the Salish Indians.
Oh, wow.
Native Americans, I should say, not Indians.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I know.
Cowboys still playing cowboys and Indians, I guess. I don't know. Anyway,
Cool.
Salish Sea. So I started sailing about 45 years ago, and up north in Bellingham,
Wow.
which is further north. So they got Everett north, then Bellingham north. So I was in Bellingham I worked at building sailboats, the interiors of sailboats. And that's how I learned how to sail. My friends at the factory said, "So how long have you been sailing?" And I said, "I've never been sailing." "You work on a sailboat and you've never been sailing? That's ridiculous." So they taught me to sail, and the rest is history. And so then I started getting boats and building boats, and then I started living on boats after the breakdown of my first marriage. I moved on to a very small boat and then got a little bigger boat, and now I'm on this larger boat than both of those. So I've just been exploring Salish Sea for 40 some years. It's great. It's a fun place. Little places to dive into, and music.
Wow.
And I play music when I go into port and have lots of friends.
Right.
Places. Yeah, it's fun. A lot of fun.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's amazing. And wow,
Awesome.
can you tell us what is something that you bring everywhere with you?
My whole house.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew it. I love that answer.
Yeah, well, when I travel in
I go wherever my house goes.
then I bring everything with me. Yeah. What else do I bring? Well, a guitar. I always have a guitar. I have a lot of guitars. I have a problem with guitars. I love them so much, and I keep buying them, and then oh, there you go. That's a perfect picture. That's the crew.
Amazing. Look at them.
So I always have a guitar. I have a guitar, and I have a.
Which is your number one, by the way?
I'm sorry? Say it again.
Which is your number one guitar?
Number one is.
Which is your number one guitar?
This is my number one guitar at the moment. This is a Guild. I call her I call her Gilda.
Aw.
She's Gilda's a big girl, and I've been looking for holy grail of acoustic guitars for 40 plus years, and I've had some really nice ones, really beautiful instruments that I was very grateful to caregive. And now I'm caregiving this one because they'll all outlive me, so I'm just a caregiver. But this one I like because she's a big girl. See how fat that is? So it just has this booming bass, but it also does what a lot of guitars that can handle the low ends, it handles the high ends. And so and I can pound on it because some of my percussive play gets pretty aggressive, and it stays in tune. So there's kind of a checkbox of things that I have to have for my primary guitar. Other guitars do specialized things, but my primary guitar has to tick all of the boxes, and that's difficult to find a guitar that does all of those things. This guitar, I was looking for the guitar. I was getting some strings, I think, and I saw it. It was used and beat up very badly. This is a 40-plus-year-old guitar, and I just wanted to. I just thought I should hear it, and so it was way up high. I asked him to bring it down, and it had a beautiful voice, and I just thought, I'm going to get this guitar. It was cheap because it was so badly beaten up. And I
Oh,
work on guitars. I'm a woodworker.
Good.
So I brought it back from the
Yeah.
edge. And now she's beautiful and living out her retirement with me.
yeah,
Gilded.
that's lovely.
It's a
She
great
looks
story.
beautiful.
Yeah. There's an
Yeah,
immediate connection with the instrument, though. It's like, it's the right one somehow.
Yeah. It just speaks to you.
yeah. Well,
Yeah, definitely.
I have to mention that plenty of people have we've had plenty of people who texted us and they requested us to ask you if you could perhaps play something for us today.
Oh, well, let me get it back again here.
Ooh, yes.
I'd be happy to play something for you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you.
Well,
Yeah.
normally it doesn't take somebody to ask me twice to play something because I do it, and I
Yeah.
would a song or two. Let's see, what do I want to do here? Oh, now that's funny
Thank
because
you.
I'm just bragging her up and she's way out of tune.
Oh.
Did the
Oh,
person
it's okay.
for that, would they like to see me tune too?
Well, I don't know. However you
Yes,
like it.
obviously. Till then, I'll tell a fun fact about Steven.
What's that?
Steven likes to name. Steven likes to name his things.
Yeah,
Guitars,
yeah.
his
I
gun,
don't like
obviously.
to admit that, but yeah, that's what happens when you live alone and
Aw.
Yeah, gosh,
you inanimate
that's really fun.
animate friends.
Okay, take it away.
Well, let's see.
Cool.
Oh, the night was clear, the stars were shining, the moon came up so bright in the sky. All the people gathered round, the band was attuned. Hear them now, playing coming through the ride. She was dressed in blue, she looked so lovely, just a gentle flower of a small town girl. Then he took her hand and danced to the music, a simple smile. She became his world, and they danced all night to the fiddle and the banjo. Drifting tunes seemed to fill the air so long ago, yet they still remember when they fell in love at the Roseville Fair. Now here's a song for all of the lovers. Here's a tune that you can share. Make it dance all night to the fiddle and the banjo, the way they did at the Roseville Fair, the way they did at the Roseville Fair.
Wow, thank you so much. That was amazing.
You're welcome.
I love that. Thank you.
Good. Brilliant. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you for asking.
Awesome. There you go. Goes. This is the thing, every time, whenever someone performs, I forget what to say.
Yeah,
I'm
the
so
questions,
in the
everything.
yeah, I'm so in the trance. This has happened previously too. But cool. So, would you like to give some tips to the beginners who are learning to sing and learn guitar?
Oh, wow. Let's see. Tips. Well, a I think one of the biggest part, I mean, there's the technical aspect. So, you know, how do you get to Carnegie Hall? Practice,
Mm-hmm.
practice, practice. So I've known a lot of guitar players. I know people all the time, and I talk to them all the time, and they and their thing is they say, I used to be a
Mm-hmm.
guitar player. I used to play guitar. And the reason there are so many guitar players, but very few guitar players, if you know what I mean, is because it's
True. Yeah.
difficult. It hurts your fingers. It gets boring. I mean, that I just played that. That was fingerpick style, right? Fingerpick
Yes.
style drove me insane to learn it years and years ago, because
True.
you have to go ping, 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 over and
Flamenco.
over and
Yeah.
over. It's like it's a torture. So it's difficult,
True.
but you have to get through that. That technical end. Whenever I am helping people, I used to do lessons. I don't do that anymore. I haven't for a long, long time, but I'll help a little bit. And so
Mm-hmm.
I'll give them an exercise to do, which is difficult, but then give them one that's easy. Because if you don't enjoy
Yeah.
doing it, you don't continue to do it. So you have to bring some joy. There
True.
has to be joy along the way, or you'll be one of
Yeah.
those to play guitar people. So,
True.
so you have to practice. You have to put in the time, but find joy in it somehow. And then eventually, I think the biggest thing to doing it successfully, whether it's just you want to play for your own enjoyment, or whether you play for friends and family, or whether you perform, is confidence. You have to have confidence.
Ah.
It's
Right.
such the big thing. And when you do have confidence, then you can be yourself. And then that's when people like to watch you perform, when they see, because when you get in front of a group, a crowd, they're as nervous as you, because you might stink. And then they got to figure out
Hmm.
how they're going to react to that. So when they see that you're not nervous and that you're confident and that you're just being you, they relax. And then then you make the connection. And that's what it's about.
True.
It's telling a
True.
story. I just told you a story. That's what I love
Yeah.
about music, communication. And you know as well as I do, you can have a conversation with somebody and it's awkward. Or you can have a
True.
conversation with somebody and it flows and it's enjoyable. That's what you're trying
Yeah.
to get.
Right. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you for the advice. That was,
Welcome.
very, very wise.
Are you playing?
And
Do you play guitar, either of you?
well,
I do.
yeah. So I was
You
about
know
to
what?
tell my story.
Okay, go ahead. You tell your story,
So
then I'll tell.
sure, I bought a classical guitar in May last year, and I've tried to learn with like online lessons and everything, but I've never had anyone like teach me in person. I think that would be much, much easier. So I've been kind of like struggling and whatnot, but I managed to learn something. And when it comes to like finger picking, that was the easiest thing from all the ways, how to play the guitar. That was the easiest thing. But then when we talk about people who used to play guitar, this is kind of like ironic, but I'm selling the guitar tomorrow
Oh,
and
you'll
moving
be one
on.
of those to play guitar people.
Yeah, and
You're entering the zone.
I'm moving to bass. So yeah, there's a story.
You pick it
Kanak?
up. I mean, never say never. You can always
Well,
return to it.
yeah. I mean, I do plan on returning, but currently, not really.
Yeah.
There you go.
Good.
Okay.
Awesome. That's good. What I love about Steven's playing is the way he uses his pinky. That's very awesome. He adds. I don't know if I've told you this, but it's really cool. He adds that extra note to add in the flavor, or he uses the pinky. The way he uses it's just, you should watch him live. That's really fun.
Well, I'll tell you real quickly. You picked up on it. Not a people do.
Cool.
The star of my hand,
Oh, thanks.
pinky. That's okay. The pinky is the star.
Yeah.
All the rest of the fingers are supporting actors.
True.
So what I do is
Good.
the supporting actors do the main work, but
Mm-hmm.
the pinky does the fun stuff like.
Wow.
Wow.
So it kind of accents.
See that?
Same, just in the finger picking chords.
Right.
So all of those little fun accents, the
Right. Like desuspended for, yeah. Yeah.
it has all the fun. The rest of them just
Good.
have to kind of plod away.
That's impressive,
True.
actually.
Yeah. Our dear friend Ellie Mae and I were watching one of Steven's live, and when he did that, I was so surprised. I was like, Ellie, look, you know what just Steven did? I felt like his pinky came to India and greeted me. It went that far. It's really awesome, though. Thank
Well,
you for showing us.
I haven't gotten that off the tracks yet.
No, it's really fun though. And by the way, a huge shout out to our dear friend Ellie Mae
Yeah.
for introducing us to Mr. Stephen Padilla. And she is watching right now.
She's
So,
fantastic.
hello.
She actually is my publicist. I've
She
given her
is, yes.
my publicist. Yeah, so she's great. Yeah.
And
Yes.
when it comes to Ellie, she left a comment saying, Bongo Bob is right next to him. He's shy.
Ah,
Look, I
look
mean,
at that. Gosh, if
there
only
you
I
go.
had mine right now.
Ellie
But
gave,
he's
Yeah.
sleeping.
Ellie gave me this. It's a great gift.
Yeah, she gave this one to me too, and she got Kanak one as well. So thank you, Ellie.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Ellie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to take him out of the box. She said, "Take him out of the box." I said, "He's worth more in the box."
Aw, okay, he's trapped.
Anyway,
I love that.
He's trapped forever now. So, okay, tell us your top three inspirations in music, even though you have told us that already. But if you have to name them, okay, not only music, but let's keep it in general. Your top three inspirations
musically
in
inspired
life, in music.
in life and music, or just
Yeah.
music. Well,
Okay,
Jesus,
let's keep it open. Life, music, anywhere.
Jesus Christ is my most inspirational person, without
Oh, yeah.
question. Music, and then I think, geez, that's a hard question because you feel like you're leaving people out, you know, that were important in your life. I don't want to leave anyone out, you know. I want to leave my mother out. She was very important. I think my uncle Bob, who was my uncle who owned the ranch when I was out at the ranch, and
Uh-huh.
he came into my life when I was a child becoming a young man, and he helped me through that transition. My father was in the
Wow.
service overseas for much of that time, so my uncle Bob Conley was a huge inspiration to me, and we just lost Bob.
Oh,
Oh, no.
6 months ago, I think, around it. Yeah. Maybe it's been more. Geez, I can't tell. But anyway, yeah, just recently we lost my Uncle Bob. So he was a huge inspiration to me. He was a larger than life man. You know, 40 degrees below zero, 3 feet of snow, and he'd be out there all day long in it. And, you know,
My God.
keeping the cows healthy, and I'd be out for 10 minutes and my lungs would be freezing. He was just a huge personality. Yeah, great guy.
Wow. Wow.
Let's
Yeah.
do the third. Musically, I would say James Taylor. I think that
Yeah.
you know, a lot of the licks
Perfect.
are similar to his. We already talked about
Mm-hmm.
how the genre approach is very similar, and he's the one that I really saw what I was talking about as far as the confidence and communication. When that ease of communication
Mm-hmm.
happens, he does that. He,
Right.
he just it's just
Wow.
distinctive, and that's what
Mm-hmm.
I made connection with in his music. And then I started to try to figure
Mm-hmm.
out why is it that I connect more to him than any other of the great musicians that inspire me. And I think that that's it, that it's just
True.
this easy, natural um, uh, connection. And so I would say that.
Right. 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 Beautiful. Beautiful. Gosh. And there's always the country essence in it, right?
Yeah, in mine or his or both.
In yours, yeah.
And
In yours,
mine,
his always.
yeah, James Taylor's more has the folk rock kind of thing, but he does country western and he does it quite well. And on many of his albums, there's a
Mm-hmm.
country western song. But yeah, country
Mm-hmm.
fusion is kind of that's kind of my thing. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
that song I just
Yep.
played, that ballad, you know, that's kind of my sweet spot. Love that. You can't keep a crowd with that. You can communicate with the crowd. You can
It,
um, get a crowd loving the music, but you need the other stuff to get to if you just do those, that's a mistake that I think some musicians play, is they just play one thing, you know, and it gets
sure.
derivative, you know. You need to break it up with different things, and that's what keeps their interest, especially when it's just one person up there.
Yeah, and I think that's the fun thing about you, and what I adore and respect is, you can pretty much play for a single person on a boat, or for 50 people in a room or a big arena. It's really phenomenal what you do and what your music conveys, and how it is, and it's really brilliant. And main thing is your voice. It's the voice of a healer, and it's really beautiful.
That's very to say. Thank you.
Thank you. And okay, I gotta share something, and this is something you made a few days ago, if I'm not wrong. It's a video actually. I'm gonna share it. And by the way, folks, the music is original and it's played by Steven himself. So enjoy this video.
That's
Beautiful.
lovely.
That's surprising. That
How
oh, froze up there.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, sorry. Okay, how did that come up to be?
Well,
Am I alive?
that's all right. I was over in Eastern Washington at my folks' house, and um, you know, I had my little chores on at intervals throughout the day that I would do to help them. So we had this, you know, about every 2 hours I had something to do, and in between that time, you know, I didn't have anything to do, and I thought, well, I like models. I built model ships in the past, and so I went down to their little tiny hobby shop and bought that.
Wow. And you built it from scratch.
You know, I didn't cut the pieces out. The pieces were cut out, but it's all wood, and it's pretty fiddly. You know, little tiny.
God. So
It wasn't super easy, but it was a lot of fun. Yeah. And then I thought, if I take pictures of it throughout, it might be interesting for someone to see, you know, how that process happens, and then to
right.
add some interest, I just did a little something on the guitar to put it in the background. So yeah, it was fun little project all the way around. I've got it now. It's in my bathroom, which we call a head. It's in the head. It's
That's
the only
cool.
art thing I have in the head.
Yeah, it's a cool project.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
Totally.
Yeah.
So you are a package. So I have a different question. So what is it that you cannot do?
What is that I cannot do?
Yeah.
A lot of things I cannot do. Let's see. I cannot stand on my head. I don't know.
Okay.
Not do.
Okay.
That is a difficult question.
Yeah.
There. Believe me, there's a multitude of things I cannot do. I cannot fix my damn engine. It's broke. It's been broke for a year.
Oh.
And I cannot fix it. I've tried to,
Man.
and I'm kind of on a path. That's one of the reasons that I've put the album project a little bit on hold is because I want to get the heart of this ship working, which is an inboard diesel engine. And I've been working on it. I've spent a lot of money on it. I've had other people come over. So this is the challenge of my life right now, is to get this diesel rebuilt and get back out sailing again. So I cannot be a diesel at this moment, at least one that can get the job done.
Yeah.
Which brings me to asking you that is this your studio as well, where you are currently?
Yeah. I do all my recording. Well, so Let Me Sing, Let Me Dance was done in a big studio, top of the line studio back in the 80s, early 80s. And then the next one was done in a studio at a house where my second wife and I lived in this house, and I turned one of the bedrooms into a studio. And then all the subsequent one, then the next 4 were done on the boat. Not necessarily this boat, on my last boat, and then on this boat. So I have a little, what I call a micro studio. It's just a Mac, and I use GarageBand to get the music in, and then I use Logic to do the final mixing. I have a really good studio microphone, and everything else
awesome.
Goes through a MIDI directly in to the computer.
Right.
And I love recording, and I just kind of self-taught, but I love doing it. It's fun.
That's amazing.
Self-taught is always great, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
I have one more question for you. So let's go back to live shows. Could you share with us some funny or some scary stories from gigs and shows?
Ooh.
Yeah. Okay, I got one for you. This was probably the scariest. So I've been performing a long time. I was about maybe 14 or 15 when I did my first big performance. I had been doing smaller performances up to that. I started performing when I was about 13, I think. So this was, I'd been performing a couple of years, and I got this at our combined high school. So it was a big school with a big auditorium. And I was in jazz band. I played guitar in jazz band. And so the music instructor said, you should do your own concert. and we'll promote it and give you all of the equipment that you need and so forth. And so I said, great. So they promoted it all over town, and they sold out this place. So it was like, I don't know, 300 seats, I don't know, something close to that, which was, to me, that was like a huge audience. I played to 5,000 before, but back then 300 seemed like 5,000. So it was just the stage. So people would come in, and I still do this to this day because I like it. A stool, a guitar leaning up against the stool, and a single spotlight. That was the dramatic stage. I was backstage waiting and getting more nervous by the minute. And as people filled in, and my friends came, and they were like not helping because they were going, "You're going to go out there and do this? How can you do this? Aren't you petrified?" You know, it's like, stop it.
Yeah.
Freaking me out.
Gosh.
And then they said, because we were a little frisky back then, we did some things which probably shouldn't have been doing. Well, they said, look, you got to be nervous. Here, come over here. And they had a bottle of adult beverage, which they shouldn't have because they weren't adults. And they said, here, you know, hard liquor. Take some of this, get some of this. So I indulged probably a little more than I should have to try, because they were getting me nervous. And when I went out on stage, the stage lights, I couldn't see anything. It was all black out there. I could just see the stage lights and and the light coming in. And I thought, well, this is okay. I'm here. So I started playing a song, and it was going good. I wasn't nervous, and it was going really well. And so then mind wander a little bit. And then never do that. Try to stay in the moment. You talk about tips for performers. Stay in the moment. Don't think about it. Ill. Did I leave the heater on? You can't do that. You got to stay in the moment. So I started thinking about, wow, this is really cool. I'm here doing this, and all of a sudden, I just stopped. And it's not that I forgot the words or forgot the chords. I forgot what song I was doing.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God.
This is the very first song in this big performance. And I stopped, and I looked down, and I could just see the faces of the people right in the front row. And so I said, what was I playing? And they said the song. I go, oh yeah, that's a good song. And so,
oh man, I'm getting goosebumps here.
The rest of the concert was great. It was fun. Everybody loved it. It was wonderful. But it was just that first bit. And when it's like a deer in headlights. You just stop and go, what do I do now? I can't even remember the song I was singing. So that was scary.
True.
Yeah, terrifying.
True.
Yeah, I love that story. Wow.
What an experience, man.
Yeah.
Things you go through as a performer, man. So, but I guess that's what leads you to betterment and whatnot. And so I guess it's a really cool experiences, fun things to remember.
Yeah.
And totally. So coming back to your latest album now, so that is I Need a Dirt Road. So when do you plan on releasing, and how does it look like?
Yeah, I'm planning to release last year.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
That's the plan. I would like to release this year, 2021. It probably, it absolutely won't be happening until the end of the year. I only have just the skeleton of a few songs right now in there. I have all the songs in here, and in here, I just got to get them in there. And that's the whole aspect. And it takes, sometimes one song takes a month or 2 months. And I've got, I usually do a 10-song album. So if you take,
Right.
even if I do it in a month times 10, I got a little head start. So I'm thinking right around, Christmas time, in December
Oh, cool.
of this year. That's what I'd like to. We'll see.
Yeah, we're excited for that.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, obviously a Christmas gift for the fans.
Yeah.
Too.
For me too, and for my mom. My
And
mom's my biggest proponent of getting it done because she wants the new album. She has all my
Mm-hmm.
albums in her
oh wow,
changer in her car. So
Aw.
when I drive with her in her car, when I'm driving or she's driving, it's the all Stephen Padilla channel. It's like, Mom, can we listen to something else?
That's so sweet. That's so sweet.
yeah, that's sweet actually.
She's a
Man.
sweet.
And yeah. And how does the week or the month ahead look like here? Are you doing some live shows or gigs?
Yeah, thankfully, the gigs are starting to heat up a little bit. We've just come off of the lockdown that we've been under for quite some months, so it's
Yeah.
limited seating in
Uh-huh.
restaurants, bars, and that's where I play. I play wine tasting places and little dive bars, and that's kind of my sweet spot. And
Cool.
so I do have, I think in March I have 4 engagements right now with a couple that will probably come in, and then I've
Mm-hmm.
got, I think, 3 in April right now. So I've got about 6 or 7 gigs that are for sure's and 3 or 4
Wow.
possibilities. So that's not a lot when you consider I was doing 13 to 15 a month
Mhm.
pre-COVID.
Man.
So getting back to
Still
that level of play is going to take a while to do, but I'm just
true.
grateful to find it. I mean, I'm grateful to
Exactly.
play a little song for you guys. It's like anytime I can get I'm grateful.
Oh, we're so thankful. We're honored
Yeah.
actually. And yeah,
Thank you.
and it's happening, people are coming out and watching the live shows, and that's where
Mhm.
the soul of music is, I guess, the live shows. And
Yeah.
I'm actually, well, we are very happy that you're getting to do it again. 6 or 7 doesn't matter, but you're playing and living the moment. That's really fantastic.
Yeah. Well, that's just it. I mean, what's the alternative? To be miserable?
Sure.
I don't think I can do that.
Not at all. Okay, by the way, I found the picture where the scary story happened.
Wow.
Well, that was a
This
scary
was it,
story
right?
that recently happened. That's
Oh, okay.
a picture. Yeah. That's a backyard.
Cool. Yeah.
Started this thing when COVID hit. I started this thing, the Backyard Concert Network. So we can, I'm just
Ah,
audience going, and that was the one of the venues that that I would play.
uh-huh.
Frank and Diane's house. Big shout out to Frank and Diane in Texas.
Oh,
But yeah,
wow. Cool.
Backyard Concert Network photo. I was using that as kind of the moniker for the idea. And then when they did total shutdown, the Backyard Concert Network, and then we get into wintertime, it's not, really
Yeah.
feasible to do that in the wintertime. It'll fire back up again. The
Hmm.
Heartstrings for Horses Ranch was a part of that
Yeah.
Backyard Concert Network.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
cool. Um,
Awesome.
so I have to mention, I don't have any questions anymore, but the people in the audience
Okay.
have. So we have a
Okay.
question from Kat, and she's asking, will there be a Christmas song on the album?
Um, Perhaps that's a great idea. And I
Yeah.
need to find out, and if it's going to come out in December, that's a great idea. I have had on the schedule of things like projects that I want to do. I call the workshop. It's been on my workshop list to do a complete Christmas album. I definitely want to do a Christmas album. I love Christmas music.
Hmm.
I love doing my own little, takes on traditional Christmas music. That's a great
Mhm.
idea. I'll
Hmm.
consider that, Kath. Thank you.
Yeah, and we also have another question from Anders. He's asking, Have
Yeah.
you ever been to Sweden and played?
No, but I'd like to. So if you want to set it up, I'll be there.
Yeah, and that's about it when it comes to questions. Kanak, any questions from you?
Yes, one final question. A message for your fans, our viewers, that they want to sort of, as a takeaway from this interview.
I'm sorry, I was reading something down there. Could you ask me that one more time? I'm so sorry.
Oh, yeah, cool. It's okay. Yeah, so a message from
Yeah.
you for your fans or our viewers that they want to take away from
Oh,
this
that they want
interview.
that I want them to take away from this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think we mentioned it before, but I know these are tough times
Mm-hmm.
for everybody, not just here in Washington State, but around the world. Um, make the most of whatever you find yourself into. Have
Right.
fun. Have fun with life. You can still do that. You can still have fun and enjoy, and
Totally.
you can help people. That's a big joy to me. I do prison concerts. I do homeless shelter concerts, um, uh, retirement homes, that sort of thing. I just donate that time, and that is such a special time when I do that. And you can do that, and that'll get you
Right.
out in a lot of the funk that we all find ourselves in. So don't give up.
True.
Have fun with, um, and um, uh, and be
True.
present.
Right. Awesome.
Amazing advice.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, Alex. Yeah, totally. And thank you so much for giving us your time this morning, actually, and
Thank
coming
you.
on our show. Thank you. It was such a pleasure, and we loved having you on. And we are wishing you all the best for your new album. And we'd love to have you on once again in December when you release it, or after release, maybe sometime around.
That'd be wonderful. And thank you for this. You guys are doing a great job. I think this is really clever and creative, and you guys are wonderful. Good for you.
Thank you so
Cool.
much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you. And for the audience, Steven's albums are already out. A few of the albums that are already out, here you go. So go check out him on Spotify or Apple Music or wherever you listen your music to. Link is in the description of this video. And these are Steven's social.
Oh, just a second.
You will connect with Steven. So there you go. It has been an amazing time with you. Thank you so much. And
Yeah.
we thank our audience for tuning in. It has been an amazing day and a fun podcast. So thank you once again, Steven. And this is what I found from Steven's profile. It
Uh,
says, live an artful life.
yeah.
So this is what we sign off with. Live an artful life and have a great week ahead, everyone. See you and see you in the next week.
Thanks
Ciao for
again.
Ciao for now.
now. See ya. Peace.
Bye.